minutes for the Oklahoma Sooners. So, if nothing else, that game is tonight, 6 p.m., an early tip-off, 6 p.m. Central Time tonight. And it's going to be interesting because, like I say, he's feeling, for him to make that statement out of, that means he's feeling the critics. Because they say he don't pass the ball, but he's saying, I'm leading the country in assists. Leading the country in scoring.
Man, young fella balling, man.
I mean, but you understand what's going on right now? People that, and that's what's happening.
But you're gonna always have. I mean, if you're gonna always have critics.
Well, guess what? I know one guy that'll take him right now on his team, and we have him live on the phone right now. We got head coach Larry Cordero from LSU Alexander.
I'm sure Larry would. Larry ain't got a chance.
What's going on, Coach?
What's up, Coach Robert Hatter?
What's going on, Jeff? How you guys doing in Houston?
Doing great, man. What's going on?
Trying to have a good practice today. One day at a grind.
Oh, man, indeed.
Need some energy, though, man. I hear that voice.
Yeah. Hey, Larry, let me tell you. First of all, how old are you?
I'm older than I look, Chief.
I know.
Yeah, I mean, we've been knowing each other for probably 15 years. Since I was about 21 years old at LSU. I'm 37 now.
Wow. Still young.
15 years ago it was. Because they were recruiting Tack Minor.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's when you met Jimmy.
Yeah.
You wasn't, no, I was, this wasn't the coach that gave you the bag.
No, Larry was a graduate assistant at that time.
I'm messing with Larry.
And were you a GA at the time, Larry?
Yes, sir. Student assistant, grad assistant, one of the two. I don't know which year that was, but for sure.
Now,
Up as a GA.
Now tell back then, of course, times have changed a little bit since 2001, and 2002, and 2003, those years. But how did you get to become a graduate assistant? We're gonna talk about your journey. How did you get to be a GA up under John Brady and Butch Pierre and the rest of those guys at LSU?
Well, it goes back to my father in relationship. He actually knew Antonio Hudson's high school coach, Mike Lyons, at the time, pretty well, right there, Russell Grambling, next door neighbors, and just had a lead, a contact that got me into the basketball office there with Butch Pierre, and John Brady asked if I knew how to work computers, and I gotta admit, I guess I've told at least one lie in my life. I said, yes, I know how to work computers. And he said, put this man to work. I hardly knew how to turn on a computer at that time, but I just went in there every day, worked extremely hard, and the rest is history. Here we are still in college basketball. Wow,
I mean, and of course there was some great times back then, and you worked your way from there. But there's a time limit, of time constraints on how long most people can be a graduate assistant, right?
2 years. I was able to finish my degree, get my master's, and served 3 total with LSU, and then it was out to the real world, try to get a coaching job, and that's when Eddie McCarter had an opening at UT Arlington, and I was able to land something there.
Wow, and you stayed at UT Arlington for a couple of years, and then you went over to what, Southeast Louisiana?
Southeastern in the conference, was able to, again, Southeastern in the conference, and met up with Roman Banks, and he put a good word into my boss of 8 years, Jim Yarbrough, and they hired me after we got let go, and right after they hired Scott Cross there, and he's done a phenomenal job at UTA. He's been there forever, but went to Southeastern, back to my roots in Louisiana, was able to cultivate and to build some relationships and recruited decently well. We'd like to think we had a pretty good run at Southeastern for 8 years, and then this program opened up and slid on over here. So stayed inside of Louisiana, all but for 2 years in Arlington.
Wow, and you end up being getting your first head job at LSU Alexandria, and that was an upstart program. They had not had basketball right there before you came, right?
Correct. God could do amazing things. I didn't know who would hire me, where I would go. He just had something way bigger than I ever thought in store. And said, hey, you're going to be the leader, the inventor, the creator of this NAIA 4-year basketball program, and it's your baby. Go with it. Owe him all the thanks in the world for this opportunity.
And so, like I said, you took this program from no expectations, just. Do you feel like they just gave you something to do? Like, okay, here, young man, nobody would take this we're going to start a program here. Here you go. We have no budget. What was your budget like, as a matter of fact, as your first year?
Wow.
Little to non-existent. We're still building up to speed. It's we're a 4-year-old program, and there's just to come from where we have with no transportation to games really. There's no ice machines. Just an empty locker room, and we've just really built it up day after day. I guess we've been doing it for almost 4 years now, so over 1,000 days for sure, and just treating every day like it's your first, and just in stages, and we're still building. There's still things that we'd like to have more of, and stuff like that in a small school, but we're just happy to be able to wake up every day and have a job to go to and coach these young men.
We have Larry Cordero live with us on the Chop Shop, and guess what? I mean, the guy that's definitely he's sharing his journey with a lot of you out there, and which is very, very impressive to say the least. You have won. You're in the Red River Conference.
We are in the Red River Conference.
And that's NAIA.
NAIA, St. Thomas, right there in Houston, is in our conference.
How many times you can beat St. Thomas in a row, Larry?
We haven't.
Well, I'm gonna make it easy. I'm gonna make it easy. How many times have you lost to St. Thomas?
Anthony Medina's a good friend and a great coach.
There you go, Coach. I like that.
Program going places, and we come there the day after Valentine's. I think that's the right day. You need to bring your lovely wife over there and see some NAIs. You need to see Cordero coach a basketball game if you haven't done it yet.
The day after Valentine's Day, I'm going to get you to send an invite. That way, I'm quite sure that she's going to love to come and support you and watch that game. That's one college game she would love to come and see. But meanwhile, speaking of coming out and coming and watching the NAIA game, what's some of the biggest misnomers or misconceptions that people get about NAIA?
That it's not, official, or it's not good enough, or it's not. It's college basketball. I tell folks we may not be D1, but we can be D1 school where you can come earn an education and have an opportunity to play college basketball. We play Division I schools. We've actually been fortunate to meet 2 of them in our time here. We do things the D1 way, from the gear we have to everything we do. I was a Division I coach for years. I come here and treat this like it's D1, like it's big time. I tell folks we're a D1 program at NAIA school, and it's 4 years. We get kids from junior college, Division I transfers, we recruit high school, preferably first and foremost, and it's hopefully people don't look down at it because you shouldn't. NAIA's got quality basketball, the longest standing national tournament ever in Kansas City. It's a tradition. It's a tournament that's got lots of history behind it, and I'm honored to coach in the NAIA. Wow,
and you mentioned about a lot of people doesn't personally want to validate NAIA basketball, but a lot of those same very people have not seen an NAIA basketball game. And so what's your approach? As accumulating your roster? Do you go out and get a bunch of transfers? Because I know for D1 schools, older is in style right now as opposed to younger. Everybody, old, meaning that a lot of coaches are playing and trying to go and get 20, 22, and 23-year-olds on the court for far as the benchmarks of their team. So at the NAIA level at LSU Alexandria, Larry, how do you assemble your roster?
We have a fan in Kansas City that goes to the tournaments every year who's looking at our roster and said, wow, you've got the most high school kids out of all these teams here. And I think Division I has kind of maybe looked at what NAIA has done, or maybe the rules have allowed them to do that. But most NAIAs are junior seniors. We look at the scouting reports and just every other team we play, if they're older. We're trying to do things different. We're trying to build a program. I've been fortunate to know a lot of these Louisiana high school coaches. And don't get me wrong, we take some transfers from the junior college and the D1 ranks. But but we kind of want to have a mixture of blend and bring in some guys. We redshirt more guys than any other NAIA program. We redshirt players just like Division I does, and hopefully the program really starts to take over where you might have NAIA school be good for a year or two because they got those older guys at home, and then they don't get those guys. But we want to be solid every single year, and we feel we give ourselves the best chance with the homegrown talent right here in Louisiana and build them up for 4 years.
So you're staying within the borders personally. That's what's worked for you because, and now I mentioned at the top of before introducing you, when you joined us, Larry, you've won not just the conference, but you've been awarded as the National Coach of the Year. What? How many times?
A couple times. I'm not sure. She's just getting lucky here. They got to recruit some nice players that work hard. They get all the credit. I get a couple awards here and there, but yeah, it's really blessed.
And so now, at this point, you know there's like different layers and levels, and it's inevitable because winning brings about attention. And you mentioned something earlier. Let's say, for example, Roman Banks was on the staff at Southeast Louisiana when you joined that program for part of your 8-year stint. Well, that same Roman Banks right now is now the athletic director at Southern University in Baton Rouge.
Oh, that's the Roman Banks. Okay.
And so relationships, as you mentioned the word, that was a key thing you mentioned about how you've maneuvered and got through this, relationships. Which, the more you win, schools are going to come calling, Larry. So I mean, and the right thing to say is, man, I want to be here forever. I love it here. I'm never going nowhere. But the truth be told, if Roman Banks come calling and say, well, man, we want to have, a white Jaguar. TSU once upon a time had a white tiger. Remember? And Grambling, I'm sorry, they had made a movie behind it called The White Tiger. In your situation, I'm not asking you to answer that. I'm just painting a picture of what's going to be on the horizon because the Final Four is in San Antonio this year for D1, not NAIA. You're going to be in demand. You're going to be in demand.
That brings up a memory. Remember San Antonio Final Four in 2004? You remember that Final Four trip? I think you and I hung out a lot during that time.
Oh, absolutely. And I took
San Antonio Final Four. Those are the days.
And one thing about it, think about it. I didn't invest my time with hanging out with you at the time for a reason, for nothing, for just one reason. One thing was I noticed you were prepared. You came out of your room with a binder, and he basically looked at me and I said, "Man, can you introduce me to some people? Just want to go to this party. Want to go to this, not the party. Some people go to the parties to party. He wanted to go to the party to be in the room so that he can exchange business cards because he was thinking about life after graduating." And it is all starting to pay off. You were at a game recently, went viral. You're about to get married. You proposed. What's that all about?
What you doing, Larry?
Time overdue. I had to go ahead and sign my biggest recruit ever. I met her in the gym a long time ago recruiting, and I thought it would be special to do it on her birthday, on our program's 100th win, not just my 100th win, but our program's 100th win, on her birthday at home in front of our players. It was a grand slam. It was awesome. It was memories that our players were able to have for a long time. They were a part of that excitement with grin on their faces. Because it's her and it's that team and my family, and we put our all into this, and she's a big part of it. And I wanted her to let her know my commitment to her moving forward in this coaching profession. You gotta have someone that she's the best. Your wife, that gotta have that other side, understand what we do in the profession with the hours that we work.
Oh, absolutely, man. We have Larry Cordero live with us on the Chop Shop, and head men's basketball coach of LSU, Alexandria, the Red River coach. What's the record right now? What's your season record right now?
We're 15-5. We've lost some close games this year. We got to find a way to finish the 10 games we have left better. Hopefully we get on a 10-game winning streak. Easier said than done, but that's the goal. traveling to Langston, Oklahoma to play up there on Thursday, and we're going to travel to New Mexico, our longest road trip, Saturday, and then we come on back. So life on the road, right now 15-5.
And now, want to get back, because a lot of the parents out there listening, a lot of people are interested. Academic qualifications, what does it take, and when normally do you start recruiting those high school players for your program at the NAIA school?
We start at the junior level, look at their transcripts, actually going up to Freeport. You know a little bit about Freeport, don't you?
Oh, absolutely.
To recruit at a high school game, at a Huntington High School, we went there to check out 2 kids on different teams, and you know, just like the Division I level, they gotta have some good grades, and they gotta be solid kids and work hard and do all those things. You know, for anybody trying to play, you got to have the talent, of course. You gotta have the 2.0 as one requirement. You need to have an 18 ACT as the second requirement, and the third one is top 50% of your class. If you can have 2 of those 3, you will be eligible to play at the NAIA level.
And then say those 3 one more time.
Say it one more time.
18 ACT, 2.0 overall, top 50% of your class. If you're missing one, you gotta have the other 2.
Is that the top 50 or top 15?
Top 50%.
Oh, okay.
The top 50% of your class. Okay.
Top half of your class.
And that.
Test well on the side, still gives them I don't like having any guys that gives them a chance to do well in the class over 2.0 and be one top of the class and just to get in.
And that is just to get for NAIA. Now, somebody else asked us on one of the, somebody sent me a text message and asked me to ask you, why don't you recruit Texas or Houston?
We do recruit Houston. I had an assistant who's now in the Marquardt also over gig. We had Jason Hawthorne, you know that name, who transferred from Western Illinois Division I to play for us that first year. I don't know that we had any other Houston players, to be honest with you right now. We just, in our budget, cheat sheet doesn't allow for, a whole lot of travel. I mean, Houston's not too far, but we kind of had a nucleus in which worked here is worked, and we're going to, continue to recruit Louisiana. We're open to recruit Houston for sure with the contacts that we built over the years. Houston's a hotbed for sure right there. Just hadn't been what we've done here so far. I guess it's right in our backyard. We feel like we've been able to get what we needed. But I know Houston's right there, and we're not opposed to it. No doubt about that. That's probably the next best biggest city right there for us to pull the talent for us to draw from.
Well, I'm quite sure that St. Thomas is not mad at by any lengths that you're not coming to their turf, their territory, including the Houston area. But once again, if you just tune into the Chop Shop, this is Larry Cordero, and the head men's basketball coach of LSU Alexander. And of course, that was some great nuggets that you dropped, and a lot of people heed to some of the info that you provided for NAIA basketball. Guys, if you listen, this young man is at the top of the chain for NAIA basketball. He's the hottest coach in the country for NAIA basketball. And how can they reach you, Larry? We're getting ready to land this plane. How can they reach you or your program on social media?
Well, I put down social media about 5 or 6 weeks. I get on there on Sunday this week. I also recently just got on habit of kill. I just put in kill on there, hopefully until we lose. It's just a little sacrifice to do better and stay more locked in. 10 pages of LSUA Hoop. Pretty easy. Instagram, Twitter, LSUA Hoop. We also have a Facebook page. I believe it's LSUA Basketball. You can follow me on Twitter, Instagram, my name, Larry Cordero. We're on Facebook as well. So pretty simple, Larry Cordero, my name, or LSUA Hoop. We have a pretty good little page. We get pretty good department shows us. You go there, you can follow us, and see all the pictures. And what we've done is really neat. Just to go back from the very beginning, if you were just to follow a timeline of our pictures, we've done a lot. We've done a lot with a little, and just rolling up our sleeves every day.
Well, that's Larry Cordero. Larry, definitely appreciate, man. Thanks so much for chopping it up
Thank
with
you,
us on the
Larry.
Chop Shop. And we're gonna, hey, we'll see you guys. I see you on February the 15th.
They want the Valentine's Day.
I'm sorry, Larry.
They want that, right?
I won't be here, Larry. I'll be at the All-Star game. I'll be waving at y'all. I'll be waving at y'all. Okay. All right.
That's a good thing, man.
That's right.
Appreciate it, man. That's Larry Cordero, guys.
Wow.
Head men's basketball coach of LSU Alexander, 3-time National Coach of the Year, and it's been straight up just dominating the Red River Conference. And once again, I challenge people. A lot of people, everybody feels that there's nothing wrong with you feeling that your kid is a Division I player. And I understand how it transpires, and we'll talk a little bit more about that when we come back on the Chop Shop after this break, and I give you guys some solutions to consider moving forward. So you guys hang right there on the Chop Shop.
Thank you, Coach.
We'll be right back after these messages, and guess what? We'll open up those phone lines probably as well. Chop Shop.
You know what? I love them Facebook. They trying to find us, Jim. They done been, Ron Lacey, he said, being around the world, I can't. He said he been around everywhere trying to find us. We on Instagram 1 second, Periscope 1 second.
We'll be right back.
We got it, baby. We just, hey, we're working on something. Now somebody trying to call me. Hello? I'm gonna be like that cousin pastor. I can't tell you what he said. Boy, I wish we was muted. Jimmy, that man talked so bad to a dude that called him. He was on the show. Said, man, don't you know I'm on my show, man? Wait till I tell you what he told that man.
You watch the other thing.
Man, I love that man. What we got, man? Who is Impact 7? If I told him we trying to work on several multiple media outlets, right? Ron Lacewell said, one is enough. No, we got to have it all right, man. What did Mark Zuckerberg tell everybody, man, I'm gonna shut it down. We got to have another way to get in touch with y'all. We just working on stuff. He's talking about Philadelphia took our equipment, man. That's who I'm trying to find out who that is. Man, you wrong for that, man. Parker was out. And then, like Stephen A. said, look at the cowardly way they did it. They made sure Giannis was out, the Greek Freak was out, so they wouldn't let him go. He couldn't go on no little 5-game winning streak and look stupid. So they made sure Greek Freak was out.
Yeah. Yeah.
But guess what I heard? You know, I heard some. You know, your boy Mike, the boy you was whining about earlier in the season, I heard he gonna get a job next year.
Which one?
He up for that job.
Which one?
Fishdale. You know, you was whining about old Fizzy.
Yeah. Well, it's about relationships, and the thing is,
That Riley, what are you talking about? He gonna take over for Jake's kid next year. And
right.
guess who else finna get interviewed? Sam is gonna get a couple of interviews this year. About time they let Sam Cassell be a coach. Coach, I might have, hey, Jimmy, Sam get a job, man. I might have to be a consultant or something. I was hoping to get this Ted Houston job. You right about that. Jobs ain't safe. Mark Jackson's supposed to be up there. Monty Williams supposed to be up for a job.
they give him. That's the compassion.
EcoStaff LLC is committed to finding the perfect job for you. EcoStaff is a locally owned and operated full-service staffing firm with over 20 years of industry experience providing employment solutions to our clients and job seekers. We welcome the opportunity to earn your trust and will do everything we can to meet your expectations. Call us at 1-800-764-8532 or visit ecostaff.com. Our offices are located in Dallas.
Yo, did y'all see what Kobe Bryant got an Oscar nomination? What of his poem got an Oscar nomination? Did you see that, Jimmy?
Short film.
Yeah, for short film. That's big. That's big time.
Oh, trouble. Don't say nothing. You talking to me? Yeah, I think you're talking to you.
No, not at all. I want you to have it.
The moment you've been waiting for has arrived. It's the return of the Chop Shop. Jimmy Hicks and Robert Hatter. Feel free to call the show at 832-685-1025. That's 832-685-1025.
And when you passing this down to hey, no, I am not. That's no cornbread. This your cornbread. I'm a grown man. Okay, I'm not going to eat this cornbread.
Larry Cordero.
If you want some cornbread, let him go up to the front and get his own portion of cornbread.
Back to the best 120 minutes of your day with Robert and Jimmy.
All right, 32 minutes past the hour. Your midday sports happy hour. The Chop Shop. The best 120 minutes of your day. Great convo with Larry Cordero, and he's the head men's basketball coach of LSU Alexandria. Dropped some good nuggets, indeed. And you know, if you want to follow them, of course, their social media tag is at LSU A Hoops. At LSU A Hoops. That's on most of your social media platforms. Mm-hmm. And one thing that stuck out to me, he gave the qualifications for NAIA. 3 main things. In addition, of course, you got to be able to play. But 2.0 overall GPA.
Yeah, right.
18, at least an 18 on the ACT. Mm-hmm. And in your top 50% of your class. Those are the 3.
That's doable.
I mean, that's the bare minimum. This is NAIA. NAIA. And a lot of people out there, and I said going into the break, I understand a lot of people think that their kids, everybody want their kid to be Division I, and everybody thinks that their kid is at least the lowest level of Division I. And when I say everybody, I mean the vast majority of people out there playing nowadays. And I understand how you can derive and get to that space, because there are so many times from 3rd grade to the 12th grade that your son may have outplayed the next kid. And you're gonna as a parent, you're probably gonna store that in your database.
Yeah, that mess you up.
And then you see him and he'll go and you know, and outplay this kid.
Mm-hmm.
and you know, and you're gonna store that in your database. Now, mind you, some of these kids along the way, most of them, is gonna grow and get taller. Some will get better, and some will even go from good to great. But guess what? And it can be troubling to many out there when you know your kid is putting in the work and he's not being rewarded with you know, by the powers that be. And then so then it'll come with another thing that comes into the equation is the excuse game. The excuse game, meaning that some people will go and use the excuse as to why their son, you know, is being slighted. So the excuse for some people will be, well, because this guy is doing the rankings, or this coach is, you know, they don't know what they're looking at.
Yeah, them coaches be looking there sometimes. You ever thought about that?
But at that point, for that most of those parents, we know that that's the end. They're at the finish line. They're in the middle of the race, in the middle of this maze.
No. Well, we need to get them to. We need to get them to realize that some of them, even in the 10th grade, we need to get. I mean, since we have this platform, everybody's not going to play. I'm serious. Everybody's not going to play. I can see all I can do is go by my experience. I look at.
So here's the thing. At some point, somebody is feeding this.
No, ain't nobody feeding.
It has to be.
Kids think they do.
No, but at some point, okay, why do you think
if you can jump this high off the ground, you can dunk, and you can shoot some threes. Man, these guys think they can go.
Okay, well, tell me this. You're going to class every day. You're taking physics. Let's say English. You're taking math. Why none of them thinking they're going to be an accountant? That is feeding in the psyche at a very young age and of these kids to think about it.
No, I'm going to help you out. I know what's feeding. Media shapes our culture, Jimmy. Media, that what they see and what they read and what they hear. Jimmy, I tell you what, if you had a son right now, and all you showed him was, the only books he read was rap books and rap magazines, and you go home and all he do is listen on the radio is rap on the radio, and then you go watch TV and everything is on your MTV raps. Guess what, Jimmy? It's a great chance, because those form of media, they're going to shape his culture. If that's what you hear all the time, that's what's going to shape you. That's why on this show, we try to shape them in the. You might think it's not having an impact. It might not have an impact now, but somebody that's going to, we shaping the minds of people right now. And that's why it's an awesome responsibility when we come on this show, because we shaping the minds. I know you. I'm just saying, media shapes our culture. Yes, these guys watch TV, they watch videos. Yes, they think they got their own. Listen, the guys had their own tapes. They mixed tapes. But if I had a mixtape back then, I thought I was going to, but
see, there you go.
Hey, but get what? I had a shot. I just couldn't hit them shots.
Oh my God! Think about what you just said. I had a
shot. I just didn't hit the shots. I hit the shots. I probably wouldn't be here now. So guess what?
Okay, understand.
Right.
It's still you think about it, saying media, it shapes a lot of society, a lot of the thoughts.
Right.
Well, in the same breath. In the same breath, there's another. It goes likewise for somebody who's playing soccer, because they're striving But the input equals output. But why is there so much input?
Well, where do you see a band? Where do you see on TV that they're glorifying the band? Where do you see a band mixtape?
I'm quite sure.
No, I'm talking about like you. I'm talking about in the same. Do you think the drum line? You don't see the trumpet. You don't see the trumpets talking about, hey man, look at my trumpet licks.
No, but they have trumpet caters and trumpet offs.
But it's not glorified, Jimmy.
Yes, it is to those. That's why the movie Drumline, when it came out, it was so popular.
Jimmy, that's one movie. I'm talking about on the social media.
But if you go to search, you'll be able to find it. You know what it is? It's just not of importance to.
It's not mainstream.
But in that world,
basketball is a global game. Playing the trumpet is not a global. That being a scientist is not a global thing.
But in that world, though, in that
world, I'm talking about
in
sports transcends all worlds. Hold up, excuse me. People in that industry, the band industry, they know who the sports guys are. People in the nerd industry, they know who the basketball players are. But the basketball players don't know who these guys are. What I'm trying to tell you, sports is global.
That still has no excuse for a person, any grown person. When you see a person that's playing with a disadvantage, and you know, then you're feeding money into a pool. And you mentioned the mentioned tapes. Well, those tapes, the people that make those tapes aren't making them for free for most people. For most people, they aren't making them for free, and they're making them for free for the McDonald's All-American,
right?
You see, or the All-State player, because they use that one as bait.
So you're saying that parents should use their resources?
Well,
no. I would try. No, I wouldn't tell the parents not to. Man, try it.
It's not a parent thing.
Let me tell you something. Kids playing college basketball is one of the most gratifying experiences you can ever have in your life. Playing high school basketball is but everybody ain't gonna make it. I saw a statistic one day. It's 500,000 basketball players, high school basketball players, but 4,200 scholarships in Division I basketball, Jimmy. That's why you telling people, hold up, it's other divisions you can play in. But Jimmy, it's not gonna knock 500,000. We don't have no 500,000 schools for these kids to play at.
Okay, so that means, understand, that means there's a person of influence that's grown for every one of the kids. We're talking way back in the not the grown kid. So there's somebody it's somebody that's not being real.
Who influenced you to play basketball? Who influenced you to play baseball?
Who influenced me to play baseball?
Who influenced you? See,
I don't have an influence that was per se.
So what if these other kids not having an influence? Somebody just want. What if they just want to play?
And if I really think and pull the layers back to my influence to play baseball, came from growing up in Fifth Ward, and my first cousin played on one of the little league teams. But that wasn't a direct influence to me. It was an indirect. So
every kid don't have an influence. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Every kid don't have an influence. Maybe they just wanted to play just like you, coach. So your cousin played.
I used to like to go to the games because back then the foul ball got you a snow cone.
Okay, so guess what? That was your influence.
So that's what I'm saying. It was an indirect influence.
So guess what? Guess what? These guys here got this. They got Facebook. They got Twitter. They got Snapchat. Dude, it's hard on these. I tell you, if you can play, it's the most gratifying. But if you don't, life goes on. Everybody who owned, but one person who owned a basketball team in the NBA played. I'm going to repeat that. One person played that owned a basketball team. The other 29, they did something else. You can be one of them quicker better than you can be Michael Jordan. You can be the best businessman. You can be you can introduce the next tech stock. The next day, that's what I want these kids to understand now. We got R. Kelly. I took my son to an R. Kelly concert when Barack first got elected. And R. Kelly stopped his concert. You know, he got all this other stuff again. But he told the young people in that audience, we got enough basketball players. We got enough singers. We need some more Barack Obamas. We need some more senators. There ain't but one African American senator in Congress. Jimmy, when we start thinking like that, but I'm not telling them not, because guess what? Barack wanted to play basketball. That's how I met it.
But some are thinking like that.
Right.
From what time is it? Is the government class? Let's say the government class is at 1 to 1:50.
Yeah.
So they thinking about that for 50 minutes. See, that's the thing.
Yeah.
So there's a grown person that's the teacher in that class. I'm not saying every class, but let's say that government teacher or that history teacher is planting that seed and explaining to them and pleading with these young people. Listen, I know you play sports, but this is the ball is going to stop bouncing. Okay, but yet when they leave out of there and go to gym at 6th period gym, then the ball start bouncing.
Oh, that ball feel good.
And then they leave there and go see the trainer. And the trainer say, see, we got to be here for this. Then they got to go, then they, and it goes on and on.
What's wrong with that?
Okay.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Okay, there's nothing wrong with that.
Because I'd rather him be in the gym than be out here trying to be doing something else.
Okay, this is what I'm saying. At one point in time.
And we didn't talk about them kids from Houston who had that robbery stuff. We didn't talk about that. See,
But one thing about, understand, if you're still a trainer, if you're still a person of influence, you still can plant that seed.
Something about these trainers, you just think these.
No, it's just people of influence. Like I said before, what does it hurt to make a kid, if you're a summer coach, to make your kids, when you come to the airport, and we're going to leave it this day, but everybody, just like you tell them all to bring a uniform, why can't you tell them to bring a book?
Oh, of course.
Okay, so what's so hard about that? Why is it so hard for people just to say, it doesn't cost you nothing extra in your life?
Excuse me, wait a minute. Stop. When you were doing this, you didn't give them a book. You had to learn.
No,
you didn't give when you
I had
on the road back there.
Listen, I get one of them young boys that played for me to call into the show.
Tell Tack to call in.
And he would explain to you guys, he would tell them, every practice. As a matter of fact, the Houston Press did an article, a 9-page article on me when I was coaching summer ball. The Houston Press.
Guess what?
You know what they did? Know my rule was? Every practice, you must come with a business page.
Okay.
Every trip you bring, I said you can throw it away after you get in the van.
Okay.
Do what you want to do with it, but you're gonna bring it with you to. That was a start.
And guess what? That's the first time I've heard it. It's probably the first time these people have heard. That's what I keep trying to tell you. That was 15 years ago. And we got to keep. But we can't think they're gonna get it all one time, Jimmy.
But I don't only coach summer ball for 2 summers.
But you got to use your platform and your influence.
And that's what I do. I'm asking guys. You heard me say to people, why don't you guys, if you make your summer schedule or your high school schedule for high school coaches, why don't you schedule SAT test? Yeah. Not the prep. Everybody else say, we all do the prep. I don't give a hoot about no prep. Hell, sign the kids up to take the test, especially the ones that have a chance. You as a grown person, you know the kids that play on your team that have the realistic chance.
They're going to have a chance to go to college. All of them going to have a chance. If they score high on the test, they're going to have a chance to go to college.
Yeah, with that too, I'm talking about, I'm talking about.
I know what you're talking about, chance, but let's not leave together. All of them, Jimmy, all of them need to take the test. Because you got to get in college, you got to take the test.
But you know what it's going to do? It's going to cost you money. Who's going to pay for it? So now it's another thing.
$25.
The summer coach ain't going to pay it.
Lord have mercy.
Chop, be right back.
Be right back, y'all. We got to get our weight up, baby. I love these kids.
Hang on, there's more Chop Shop coming your way with Robert Hatter and Jimmy Hicks. Also interact with them on social media at ChopShopHTX. We'll be right back.
A long-term pain, Jesse Jackson. Jesse Jackson should have told that to his son.
What part?
Hey, Impacts. He said, we need to enterprise. We need to be more entrepreneurs. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Let's stop trading short-term pleasure for long-term pain. Jesse Jackson. Yeah, but he should have told that to his son. And the Western ain't on here, man. We're going to get him back tomorrow.
Yeah.
We got to figure out what happened.
That's Western right there.
What Western?
Impact.
Oh, Western is Impact. Oh, how you know? He said it?
No, I know.
Hold on. I got to coat my throat.
That's a true statement, B. Think about it. B, they can pay for a uniform, but guess what? That cost them uniform and shoes, that's part of them dues that the parents have to pay. So the parents are paying for that. But still, if you can incorporate a way for the parents to reimburse or to pool their money together.
Hold on. It's $45 now for
the test.
For the test. $45. Thank you.
But if you're a summer coach, now like every team is a sponsor. Right. Every team doesn't get free shoes and free.
We're gonna get that $45 from somewhere.
But so for those who aren't, and the vast majority are not. So how do they get? The parents normally would pay the money that they would go and get a deal with Barcelona or East Bay or whatever to buy their stuff, their sneakers. And they would let the parents know, okay, we got to
just put the numbers out there. Let's say you got 10 players on your team. $45, that's almost $250.
No, that's $450.
$450.
You say 10 times 45.
Yeah,
$450.
that's $450. So now we got to figure out how to get this $450.
Well, as a community, without, and I know they probably not going to do a deal.
Quit trying to get deals. I don't want no deal. I don't want no deal.
No,
I'm gonna pay folks what they want to pay. Let's get the money. I don't need no deal.
No, about the racket people, the racket that's holding the test.
Yeah, I ain't talking about the racket. I'm telling you, if that's what they charge, let them charge what they charge. Cause when I charge what I charge, I'm gonna want it. I ain't trying to make no deal. That's valuable. $45 to make. That's valuable. And some people I heard, now hold on, now somebody told me this. It's a way to get it weighed about your income.
Yes.
So money shouldn't be the problem.
So that means most of these players on most of these summer teams, many of them are qualified for an exemption and of some sort. and so many of them qualify for that.
Right.
So that's the thing. Think about. Think about this. Why is it so hard? That's the magic question. Why is it so hard for some people of influence in basketball to relay that, to implement and include that?
Well, maybe we need to get some more new people in basketball. Maybe these people who you talking about, we need to get them out of basketball.
But understand, as for the kid.
Speaking of that, you got questions on Twitter. It says, what are your take on all these new AAU grassroots circuits?
All the new AAU my take on it, hey, people just want to play basketball. See, that's what we don't understand. These kids want to play. Jimmy, these kids rather play basketball than football.
I understand that. So that means if you want, it's like okay, put it like this. If we went and took those kids, a group of kids right now,
right,
and took them in the field in Derricks, right now,
okay.
And while the food, when they just putting the food out, everything is piping hot. Most of those kids, what would they go run over to the desserts, the salad bar, to the fishing grits and all that part right there? What do you think most young kids would run over to?
I'm not sure.
They would run over probably to the desserts. They see a cake, the ice cream, the peach cobbler. Most kids don't really like peach cobbler. They would probably run over to the cake.
You said most kids, because I know some kids don't like sweets.
I'm just talking about, I said, the majority. They're not going to go and eat their vegetables like they're supposed to. They're not going to go and eat this. But as a grown person, you have the influence to say, listen, man, you can have this dessert, but at least put some of this on your plate. We need you to have some of this. You got to eat this right here. That's what I'm saying, what I'm asking a lot of the guys, a lot of people of influence to start doing. That's all. They can still go play basketball, but it's too much making them feel, and I'm talking to the kids on the last couple of years, and they really feel that it's basketball or bust. And they don't make it up yonder. Know what they do then?
Yeah.
They go pick up them pistols, some of them. They go and rob something or go steal something. Some of them.
It just happened.
That's what I'm getting into. It's a reason. One of them boys had a D1 scholarship and gave it up. He was on campus at Weber State, Shy Field.
I already know.
Transferred and went to Houston Tillerson after going to JUCO and another JUCO.
Wow.
54 minutes past the hour. 54 minutes past the hour. Don't forget about our friends over at Psych On Site, Urgent Psych Care. You can go visit that website today, urgentpsychcare.com. Or guess what? They have another website, psych-on-site.com. psych-on-site.com, and that's the website, Psych on Site. Also, the lunch buffet is still going on right now at Phil and Derek's. You can go over there and eat. We're speaking of food during the break. They have it all right now for you, for some good food. Fish and grits, chicken and waffles, greens and cornbread, red beans and rice, corn on the cob, snap beans, potatoes, baked chicken, 4 cakes, peach cobbler in the heated pan. Go by there, get the sweet tea. I don't know what they putting in the sweet tea, but I'm down with it.
No, you know what I drink? The sweet tea with the lemonade.
That's on the
And
pause.
the champagne. Hey, in the big wine glass.
In the big
Yeah,
wine.
they might not let y'all do it. Y'all got to say, y'all got to really say Chop Shop. That's how Robert Adler drink it to get it like that now. Because they're going to put it in the regular glass. I have it, since I don't drink, and everybody be looking at me crazy, I said, okay, I just get it in a wine glass. It looked like a long line, what's it called? Long Island tea. Now, what was you going to talk about? You telling me about these kids. We got to give these kids something else to do. We had a kid that had a Division I scholarship, and he made the news the other day. I think you sent it to me. And they robbing people.
Yeah, two
From what?
2 former players from Yates High School was among the 5 young men who were arrested in California, right? For suspected of what they call bank jugging.
Yes.
So bank jugging.
Be careful. Watch this, y'all, when you go to your bank.
What they do is they'll sit in the parking lots, and they do it at more than just banks. But these young men was arrested for bank.
And they did it here, and they did it in both places here.
Allegedly.
Allegedly, yeah.
Did it here. And what they would do, they would sit in the parking lot, and they would watch people who go into and come out of the banks, and follow them to the next destination, and just either rob them, or
break in the car,
or if they emerge from their car for a short period of time
without
the bag, then you know it's in the car still, and break the glass, get the bag, and keep on rolling. That's called bank jugging. And
they were targeting a certain type of people too.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
And a lot of the people in this case.
Well, all of this is alleged.
And you know, last week, these 5 young men, once again from Houston,
all 5 from Houston.
They got caught in the act.
Wow.
Right.
But they because they follow. I think they.
Well, one was in progress that they had just done, where the guy had left $16,000 in the bag after leaving the bank, and they got his goods, so to speak. Well, they went on to go and do another one. Well, that guy had already called and described the scene, so everybody was on the lookout in the area, the officers and whatnot. So then that's how one of the reasons led to them being caught. Well, one of the young men is Trey Dickerson, and another one is Shy Fields. And Shy Fields
used to be one of the top players in the city.
Both of those guys played for Yates High School right around class of 2011. They're 24 and 25 years old respectively. Trey Dickerson and Shy Fields both were starters at Yates High School in the basketball program. They started. Shay Fields led them in scoring. He had a scholarship and signed with Weber State in Utah.
Right.
Transferred from Weber State and ended up going the JUCO route, and then ended up finishing at Houston-Tillerson, where he led the team in scoring. Led them in scoring. He was one of the top scorers in the country.
You gotta wrap this up.
At that level. And now the dream, the hoop dream, was to go and make it big. Play ball in the pro.
Yeah.
Well, like I say, for some people, and a lot of these young people, grown-ups at the expense, all I'm asking is, stop feeding to them that if they don't go pro, that they are a failure.
Thank you, Jesus.
That's all. That's all. And that's enough. I leave that as food for thought for you guys to take on. And thanks so much.
Thank you for being patient.
For everybody for watching the Chop Shop today. Thanks for Larry Cordero, on behalf of course Robert Hatter, myself Jim Hicks. We'll see you guys in 22 hours. We up out of here. Chop shop.
Chop shop.
Great day.
Can we get it? Great day. Hey, we need to figure this shit out right now. Cut it out and try it. Let's try it again. So, is it off? Are we off
No,
yet?
no, not yet.